The number one thing we should let go as we age: unhealthy relationships. We're all social beings, so we need relationships. We need to connect with people in order to have healthy lives. One of my favorite movies with Tom Hanks, Castaway, is often marketed as a movie about a lone man trying to survive on a desolate island. However, it is actually a lot more than that. It's a movie about our deepest desire and need for human connection. What do you think Wilson, the volleyball, had more screen time than Helen Hunt? However, that doesn't mean we're in a relationship with just anyone. We can give Tom Hanks from Castaway a pass because he didn't have many other choice. But for us, as we get older, we have to be very selective about who we spend our precious time with. The way I look at it, relationships are supposed to make us feel good as human beings. If a relationship is making us feel guilty, insecure, ashamed, or hopeless, in my definition, that is not a healthy relationship. So we must either end it or do our best to distance ourselves from it. So if unhealthy relationships are not good for us, why do we hold on to them? Which leads to the next thing we should let go. The number two thing we should let go as we age: the belief that we can change someone. Change is hard. After having spent close to 20 years using only PC devices, it was hard for me to switch to Apple. So if change is so hard, why do we believe that we can change someone? It's because we believe this person will be happier with a different version of themselves. We believe we know what he or she wants. At the end of the day, we think we know what is best for that person. But just as we don't like having someone else tell us what to do with our lives, no one else wants that either. So we have to let go of the belief that we can change someone. The desire to change has to come from within that person, not from us. Before we go to the next thing we need to let go, make sure to download your free one-page companion PDF guide that goes along with this video. Everything I'm covering here in a simple to digest one-page format. Go to the link I'll have in the description below to grab your free copy. The number three thing we should let go as we age: the belief that we can have it all, that we can do everything. Life is all about trade-offs. If we choose to spend 12 hours at work, we aren't spending that time with our family, or vice versa. If we spend 12 hours at home with our family, that means we aren't devoting extra hours into building our career capital. However, high achievement individuals fall into this all the time. The unrealistic belief that he or she can do everything. Only if I work harder, only if I sleep less, only if I can find the most efficient way to manage my to-do list and my calendar. As we get older, we have to accept the reality that we all have 24 hours in a day, that there is a physical limit to how much we can do in a span of a day. We can have and do the most important things, but we can't do everything. So where does this belief that we can do it all and have it all come from? Which leads to the next point. The number four thing we need to let go as we age: the belief that our body can handle it. It's all in the mind, and my body will conform to the will of the body. Yes, to an extent this is true. Our motivation and willingness to do something all starts and ends with our mind. However, to ignore the limitations of our body, especially as we age, is foolish. You can't stay out late and expect to function at 100% the next day. You can't run a 26-mile marathon without injury if you haven't properly trained. And you can't chug 5 cups of espresso and think that you'll be fine. You'll not be fine. I've tried. Maybe you were when you're 18 years old. But that is no longer. As we age, we not only have to be extra keen on taking care of our body, we have to be careful not to push it too hard thinking it can handle it. That's why I'm such a huge advocate of getting a good night's sleep, managing our diets, and exercising on a regular basis. We can have all the money in the world, but if we don't have our health, what's the point? The number 5 thing we should let go as we age. For those of you who like to drink, this is a controversial one: alcohol. In the theme of thinking our body can handle it, one of the biggest ways people abuse their body is by consuming too much alcohol. Charlie Munger, when asked if he drank alcohol, responded with this: "Why would I take money out of my pocket to put something in my body that makes my head work less well?" Now, there's nothing wrong with enjoying a little bit of alcohol here and there. The issue is our personal awareness of knowing how much is enough is often skewed when it comes to alcohol. Alcohol by nature affects our judgment. It's rare to see someone who drinks a lot of alcohol make good decisions, especially about their level of alcohol consumption. When asked, they'll always say, "I didn't drink that much. I only had 2 cans of beer." Or, "Was that 3? No, when you count the ones I had before dinner, I had 5. Or, "Was that 6? I say, why spend your precious hard-earned money on something that can harm your body and your future? The number 6 thing we should let go as we age. The theme of bad things for our body, bad things for our mind. Junk content. The things that we put into our minds have just as positive or negative impact as the things we put into our body. We eat enough junk food, sooner or later our body becomes a junkyard. In the same way, if we feed our minds junk content, our brain becomes a mental junkyard. In school, many of us were forced to put quality content into our brains, whether we liked it or not. Books we didn't want to read and articles too hard to comprehend were assigned by our teachers, and we had to wrestle with them whether we liked them or not. We had to write essays, which forced us to distill our thoughts and understanding of that specific book or article, which in turn expanded our minds and sharpened our thoughts. However, after we left school, many of us just simply stopped learning. We stopped consuming quality content and we allowed the internet and TV to feed us whatever it had to offer. Junk content equivalent to junk food. Over-the-top sensational articles, clickbait social media posts, scandalous reality TV. These junk content not only waste our precious time, but plunge our minds into destructive thought patterns. So as we age, let's let go of junk content. Instead, let's surround ourselves with high-quality ideas and contents. Quality books, long-form articles, and well-vetted documentaries. Number 7 thing we should let go as we age. Arbitrary deadlines. You know those arbitrary deadlines that say we should have 3 times our income saved by the time we're 30 years old? Or we should at least be a director level in our career by the time we're 35 years old? Or have 2.5 kids by the time we're 40 years old? Who comes up with these goals anyways? At the end of the day, recognize that there is no one way to live life. Just because a good number of your friends are getting married at the age of 35 doesn't mean you have to as well. Or some random guy on YouTube says you need 10 times your expenses saved by the time you're 40 years old. Listen and see them as a point of reference, but the choice to follow is yours. There is no right time to marry, start a family, or buy a house. There is no right time to retire, travel, or go diving in shark-infested water somewhere in the Bahamas. Don't let someone else tell you when you need to do something by some arbitrary deadline. It's your life and you set the deadline. The number 8 thing we should let go as we age. The theme of arbitrary deadlines? The past. The chances are that many of the goals that we set out when we were 12 years old, we didn't hit when we turned 22 or 32 years old. Life doesn't work out that way. We change as people, and there's so much to life that is out of our control. So we have to get good at letting go of the past as we get older. However, this doesn't mean we don't reflect on the past. If we made dumb mistakes, then process it and understand why we made it. Then move on. I've made so many money mistakes in my 20s, it's not funny. You name it, there's a good chance I did it. Credit card debt, buy to rent furniture, spending to show off rather than saving for the future. But what would be worse would be if I continue to agonize over the mistakes I made in the past instead of moving on. What is done, and I have to accept that. I wish I didn't make those mistakes, but they also taught me invaluable lessons. So as we get older, let's learn to let go of the past, embrace the present, and look to the future. The number 9 thing we should let go as we age. Labels. We love to give labels. Labels based on politics, occupations, cultural backgrounds, and socioeconomic status. She is a Democrat. He is an engineer. She is a Korean American. Now, there's nothing wrong with labels in itself. Many times they can be helpful in simplifying our interpretation of the world. The issue is when we confuse labels with someone's character. We use labels to quickly jump to conclusion about a person. Oh, he is a soldier. He must be uptight. Oh, she is young. She must not know anything about the world. Oh, he is old. He must be grumpy. We have to be sensitive to the fact that when we quickly label someone, especially without being curious about them as a person, we're filtering what we choose to see. We are subconsciously conforming the world to our liking instead of being curious about the world and the person we meet. We simplify that person to the label rather than trying to understand the complex character that makes that individual. I'm sure many of us wouldn't like a simple label being slapped on us. So as we age, let's learn to let go of the knee-jerk reaction to label others. The number 10 thing we should let go as we age. Special days, or the need to wait until special days to celebrate. Think Christmas, birthdays, or Valentine's Day. In my world, every day is a special day. We don't need to wait until someone's birthday to appreciate them. We don't need to wait until Mother's Day to tell our spouse that they're an amazing mother. And we don't need to wait until Christmas to enjoy an intimate moment with our family. Don't wait until someone else tells us when we should celebrate. Celebrate every day, because if you wake up today with your health, that alone is worthy enough to celebrate. Number 11 thing we should let go as we age. Fast results. If you've been around the block, you know this based on experience now. Life doesn't work out in terms of fast results. Things always take a lot longer than we anticipated. Trees don't grow overnight, they take years. Sustainable wealth doesn't appear out of the blue. They take time. Quality craftsmanship isn't patched together in minutes. Someone spent months or years designing it and also many months planning its production. Therefore, don't expect fast results. Don't buy lottery tickets expecting to get rich overnight. Don't buy fast diets that promise fast results. Some might work, but don't be surprised if the weight comes back just as quick. Embrace the financial tortoise slow and steady path and take a long-term perspective towards life. The number 12 thing we should let go as we age. The theme of fast results, easy results. As we get older, one thing many of us also probably realized is that many things are a lot harder than we thought. It's really hard to build wealth. It's really hard to have good health. And it's really hard to maintain our motivation. In a way, it is painful. Life is painful, and the pain is exasperated when we expect that we shouldn't have pain. It should be easier. But the honest truth is that just as anything worth the salt takes time, it also takes pain. You want to save a lot of money? You have to go through the process of painful saving. You want big muscular thighs? You have to push through the pain of standing back up after the heavy weight takes you down. Let go of the expectations that things are going to be easy. It never is. Pain unlocks a secret doorway in the mind, one that leads to both peak performance and beautiful silence. The number 13 thing we should let go as we age: the need to be liked. The brutal fact is that some people will just not like you, no matter what you say or do or how hard you try. So accept that. Let go of the need to be liked by everyone. This I wrestle with so much throughout my youth. My family immigrated from South Korea to the United States when I was 9 years old. I didn't speak English, I used chopsticks to eat french fries, and I didn't know how to play handball or kickball. To say that I wasn't the most popular kid during recess is an understatement. Every day was painful, and I hated the fact that I was so different. So I did what any kid that wants to fit in would do. I overcorrected. I looked at how other kids ate french fries and I followed suit. Yes, using my bare hands like a savage. I watched how handball was played and mustered up the courage to join the line for new players. I desired so much to fit in and be liked that I completely let go of my cultural past. However, what happened was that I did make new friends and become generally liked, but I also lost a bit of myself. I became accustomed to conforming rather than thinking independently for myself. Yes, we can't always do whatever we want to do because we live in a social society. However, let's not let conformity come at the expense of ourselves. As we get older, let's learn to let go of the need to be accepted and liked by everyone. The number 14 thing we should let go as we age: possessions. Essentially, things. When I was younger, I believed my possessions defined me. My car, my clothes, my fancy watch. These things signal to the world how successful I was. And combined with my desire to be liked, things owe me like nothing else. But as I've gotten older, I realized how foolish I was. It's not necessarily bad to have things, to have possessions. I love my Subaru Crosstrek and I get so much value from it. However, I also recognize that it doesn't own me. My Subaru takes me from point A to B safely, but it doesn't define who I am as a person. Let's be grateful for the things we have, but learn to let go of its hold over us. Number 15 thing we should let go as we age: debt. There is no good reason to hold on to old debt or rack up new debt as we get older. As I mentioned in many of my other videos, I have a complicated relationship with debt. On one hand, debt is necessary to make very expensive purchases, our homes, our cars. However, they are not our friends. If we're not careful with it, it can quickly consume our lives and lead us to ruins. So let it go as soon as possible. If you have debt, come up with a plan to pay it off as soon as possible and commit to not getting new ones. Thank you guys for watching. In the line of debt, if you want to learn why I feel the way I do with debt, please check out my video here. Until next time, all the best.